What's going on? Glad to have you back again on the BLONGshow. Make sure you check out that webpage at BLONGshow.com. Keep coming back to the page, subscribe so we can get them likes up, get them dislikes up, get the channel going. Let's get this channel going so people can keep learning, people can keep growing, people can keep making money. I like to ask a few questions in order for people to answer those questions and make a little bit of money. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today I just got one question. Tell me what a philanthropist is. Tell me what you think about them. So the first person to let me know that, you automatically win $25. You can tell me at my email at king@blongshow.com, or you can post it on my website at BLONGshow.com. Alright, so let's get into this conversation. Today I'm going to talk to the dope boys, to the girls, the stick-up girl, to the prostitutes, to the hookers, to the swipers. I'm taking it to the street today because I want to help my people. And remember, I told y'all, my people ain't just black people. Get that out your head. That ain't how I roll. My people from all over the world, doing all type of things. First, I want to talk a little bit about gamblers. People get addicted to gambling and they don't know why they're addicted to gambling. I know for a fact that men get addicted to gambling because it's the situation of us needing to dominate. We need to win. And that feeling and that anxiety of winning is what makes us keep going to the point where we get addicted, lose all our money, get more money and try to come back and win again. You ever been in the hood, you'll see that somebody that get whooped that's not weak. First thing they say, I'll be back. Or if they get ran up on and they get up out of there, the first thing they hollering, I'll be back. Or you see all these times when situations where somebody come back and do something to somebody. That's the same thing with gambling. So understand why you gambling, and maybe you can control your gambling. So once again, like I said, that's that need to dominate. So why don't you take that ability and that need to dominate and move that into the workplace. Gamble with yourself. Take a gamble on school. Take a gamble on a trade. Take a gamble on, sitting back for a minute and find a way for you to develop a career. So you say that, gambling happens quick. Careers do too, depending on what you decide to do, what you're willing to do, and what you're willing to compromise with. So let's say, let's compare shooting dice to being an auto mechanic. It's difficult to shoot dice if you're really shooting dice. Not some sitting down on the curb stuff, which is just straight up retarded to me. You want to throw dice on the ground, you squatting down like a baby, or like somebody that takes a poop outside, shaking the dice up, throwing them down, and looking at the number. Half of y'all don't know what you playing, how you playing. You're shooting a 5 or 9 and you got all craps. You're shooting a 10 or 4 and you got all craps. You really don't even know what you're talking about. And then do you have the feel? Can you bet against another number when you're shooting for 7? Can you shoot for something else when you're shooting for your number? Can you continue to pick up? Does your money stay there? You don't really know how to shoot dice. So quit shooting dice on the curb. Because again, another thing about that, at the end of the day, a lot of times it end up in a fight, death, or robbery. That's that same addiction kicking in. That need. We thrive on that need to dominate. So when you're getting your buns kicked out there shooting craps, oh crap, you end up in a situation that you don't want to be in, or you end up putting somebody else in a situation that they don't want to be in. You know, half the time nowadays, people don't even really think about the people that they're dealing with. Those people might be doing whatever they're doing with you out there in the street, but them people ain't really who they are. Half the time, the people that I met, when they in the street, that ain't who they really is. They fronting. You know, a lot of them cowards, a lot of them good people, you know, a lot of them just following. So lose the dice game, man. Go get you a real job and then shoot dice here and there on the weekend at the casino. At least that way, won't nobody blow your head off, or you get jumped by a bunch of people, or you do that on the other end to somebody else. And I'm not telling you no TV stuff. I'm telling you something that I know. I've watched it over and over, been involved in it. I'm still here to tell you about it, so I'm telling you about it. Anything I tell you about, check the credentials. Or you also have the right to question me, and I'll give you details, and I guarantee you'll understand and know that I'm talking the truth. So let's move on from gambling. I'm going to do ladies first, so let's go with prostitution first. So a lot of times I hear from a prostitute that they've been molested at some point. I really don't take that as an excuse to be a prostitute. And when I say prostitute, I'm talking men and women. They all say the same thing. 90% of them say the same thing. At some point they was molested. So what you're telling me is you enjoy being molested? Because at this point now you're using drugs and you get molested every day, several times a day in some cases. So what's the point? And don't your genitalia feel pain? If I had sex about 3 times a day, my stuff is sore, and I don't want none for a couple of days. So drugs is more important than your own physical being. You don't respect what God gave you. God gave you a body to respect. So you're just going to disregard God? Okay, so then you take yourself as this person on this planet. You can't respect your spiritual being if you let your physical being run you to death. Literally. And so if somebody molested you as a child or as an adult or whatever, why don't you use that molestation to help the next person? Because you understand what it feels like to be molested. Me, myself, it was an attempted molest on me. But my brother hit the lady in the head with a stick. I got up, hit her with a 2-piece, and we got up out of there. The worst part about it, I don't even understand why she was trying to rape me, because she was a so-called gay female. I was a young teenager, early teenager. And the only reason she was able to get on top of me because she was bigger, she was heavy. But when we were standing up, she couldn't see me. You know, this happened to me due to the fact that my dad and his girlfriend, who he was living with, had us getting babysit by some people that he thought they was okay because they was related to the lady that he was dating at the time. And they turned out to be junkies and everything else, and they just getting money from watching the children and all kind of crazy stuff happening up over there. I had to piece up a couple people over there. You know, we running around with knives and cleavers in our pockets, young teenagers. And that's the other thing about young people. When they have a relationship with their parents where they can't talk to their parents about everything, weird things happen, bad things happen. You know, there was a lot of different times I could have ended up in a boys' home because I was out doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. But God just carried me through. Unfortunately for some people, that's not the way it happened. But me, myself, when I say I believe in God, I mean it. A lot of people say it for other people. I don't care what other people think about that. That's what I'm doing. So when you out prostituting, what are you gaining? You have no power. You have no dignity. You have no pride. Where does it stop? You know, when you wake up, because obviously you're not thinking when you go to sleep. You probably high and just fall out. So when you wake up, where's your thought process? What's the next trick I'm gonna find? I mean, what else can you even think about? Find some dignity. That energy you taking to go be a prostitute and strippers, I'm talking to you too. Because you prostitutes too. The energy you take to go be a prostitute, take that energy and place it in helping the next generation. Take that energy and put yourself in school. You walk in the streets, hurting. Your feet gotta hurt. You're dirty. You can't help but be dirty. You're outside. And I don't care if you some high-class prostitute. You're still dirty. You're still out in the street. Anything can happen to you. You don't know your trick. I don't care if you've been dealing with him for 10 years. You don't know that trick. He's a trick. That's why it's called the trick. Because it's a trick up the sleeve. Put that energy into doing something else. Quit being a lazy ass. You lazy. And you don't want to put forth an effort to do the right thing. Get your spirit right. Because at the end of the day, whether you believe in God or not, it's coming. It's going to happen. One day you're going to pass away. One day you're going to have to answer to God. Stop cheating yourself. Stick up girls. Y'all next. You know, you call the setup chick. You know, some in your face and some behind your back. You call the setup freak. My whole squad. My get down bitch. Either way it go, you disrespect it. I don't prefer to cuss on my recordings, but I'm just telling you what it's called. You're nothing. You'll never be nothing. You think you're doing something, setting people up. Do you think if you was part of the crew, you'll get sent to set some dude up that can potentially blow your brains out, stab you up, choke you out, whatever it might be? You think you'll really be getting pushed to this dude? You're not part of the clique. You're a pawn on the chessboard. You're expendable. There's a lot of y'all. So if you feel like you that devious, or you feel like you that elaborate with dealing with people, go be a detective. You know, go find you a job. You know, it's plenty careers out there, and you'll enjoy your life. You're no longer looking over your shoulder. You know, name one setup chick that you see over the age of 40. You don't. Because if you do, she gets destroyed after 1 or 2 setups. So stop losing. You know, you're not made for the streets. Women is not made for the streets. Stop being involved. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less strong than the man. It's just not where you belong. It's not your environment. Women have a place, men have a place. For some reason, I can't understand why animals and bugs understand that more than human beings. Get it together. Stop being retarded. Drinking. Women, stop trying to drink as much as men. Physically, you're not made to do that. Your cells are different. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a little drink here and there, but that's lame to talk about. I'm going home to have some wine every single day. I'm finna get in the tub and sip some wine. You're drunk. You're a functioning drunk and you don't know it. Anybody that drink every day, or even every week for that matter, you're a drunk. Unless you're a young kid that's starting to drink because they didn't hit 21. Now you drink every weekend because you partying. But have some willpower to say, screw that, I ain't drinking this weekend. Every once in a while, turn it off. You know, you drinking and then you call in to work. I used to drink. I used to rap, so you know I used to drink and party. But I never called in to work because I had been drinking. I went and suffered through my hangover. That's called responsibility. That's called being a man. That's called being an adult. I made that choice to go out and get drunk the night before knowing I had to go to work tomorrow. Boss up. Quit being weak humans. Be strong. Because what that does, when you be strong, eventually you're going to continue to evolve to become a better, stronger, smarter person. Get together. Smoking weed. I don't see why anybody smokes weed. Anybody. Or any smoke anything. Especially if you don't have a career already. And especially if you got a career already. Why would you want to do something so simple that this stupid little thing, for one, is destroying your lungs and your brain cells. But it can destroy your job. What's the point? And then if you don't have a job, when you get called for a job, you can't get the job. You running around trying to find all this goofy stuff to get it out your system. And then decent jobs, you come there and you think, okay, I've been drinking vinegar or I've been drinking this or that, and they cut your hair. And you go in there, like I've just seen some dudes so dumb. They cut their hair bald, go try to get a job at GM, and then they cut the hair from under their arm. Or you cut all your hair off and they send you up out of there. You're a clown, man. Stop being a clown. No. Get a job, work the job the right way, do the right thing. You know, then the other thing about smoking weed, all of this passing it around, that's the weirdest thing I've seen. You gonna smoke on the weed, then I'm gonna take the weed out of your two little fingers all squares up, holding it like this, looking stupid. And then put my lips on it where your lips was at. I don't want to kiss you, and I don't want your germs. And I'm not a buster. If I was smoking weed, I'd smoke my own joint on my own blunt. I got $10. I can buy a bag. I see all these grown people, 30, 40, 50, 60, passing weed around. I'm like, what type of crap is this? I don't know. I just don't get it. The last thing I want to touch on is selling drugs. I know that's addictive. People don't respect the fact of the impact selling drugs puts on a person. Selling drugs put a heavy impact on people. It's difficult to leave it, just as difficult it is for the person that's using it. You got to think, selling those drugs creates a person's livelihood. It's paying their rent. It's paying their utilities. It's buying them what they need. It's taking their families where they want to go. It's letting them make spontaneous decisions to go and enjoy their life. So, for them to stop doing it, it's hard. It's life-changing. You know, and I feel like the prisons and the judges should take that into consideration. create some rehabs for the actual drug dealer. Stop giving them 20-year sentences and give them a sentence to a counselor. Give them a sentence to a job fair or a job placement center. Help these people see that the same way that they being tactical in the streets, they can be tactical in the workplace and be creative and be an asset to the community. Most of these people, they're not tough. Most of them wimps. They just got connected with selling drugs. They found somebody that had a package, and that somebody knew that they knew people, gave them a package, put them on it, it just worked for them. That ain't hard. You know how many drug dealers get robbed? You know why they get robbed? By stick-up kids? Because the stick-up kid know they ain't gonna do nothing to them. The only thing most drug dealers gonna do is pay somebody else to come holler at you. And 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna do that because they don't want that to go wrong and then you come get at them again. They try to dodge the stick-up kid. Most drug dealers is not tough. They just found a way of life. You know, so your drug dealers, go to school and get you a job. Hook up with a stripper. And you and her both stop doing what y'all doing because both of y'all now got motivation and both of y'all headed in the same direction to try to be somebody. And now y'all can hold each other's hand, and when those times come where you start inching to go backwards, y'all can talk about y'all bad times together to keep y'all from backsliding and going back to what you was doing before. Life much better than the streets. Take it from somebody from the streets. I've been there, I've done that. I'm doing something else now. For a long time now. I don't gotta, when I see the police, I don't care. I'm not worried about, is it some residue or some package left in my car that was overlooked. I wouldn't care if they even tried to set me up and put a package in my car. I'm not worried about it because I know I'm not doing anything. And I'm not going to do nothing, ever, again. I'm good on that. You know, all the stuff I talked about, I done did it. So I know what I'm talking about, or I wouldn't talk to you about it. That's why I'm not talking to people about using heavy drugs like crack, heroin, and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk to you about that because I don't use that, and I don't know nothing about that. You know, so I know about it, but I don't know the effect on it. All I know is if I was ever to do that, I wouldn't do it because I got enough sense up here. I know about cells and cell reproduction. I understand that I get a certain amount of cells in a lifetime. I understand the damage that can be done to your cells and retard them. I understand what smoking does to lungs and brachii. I understand what homeostasis is. I understand that I'm the exact same thing as this wall behind me. This wall got cells that I have, that you have. I understand that, so I'm not going to destroy my cells. I understand that my body is continuing and functioning, and it's all type of different stuff that's processing at the same time over and over and over every day. People say you need protein. They don't even know why you need protein. They don't understand proteins is entering and exiting. They don't understand how muscles and sarcoplasms are working together. They don't understand Golgi apparatus. They don't understand phagocytes. If they understood this stuff, maybe they wouldn't make the same decisions that they're making when they're using these drugs and alcohol. So I'm talking to the streets today. Make sure you check out the website, BLONGshow.com. Post your information there. Answer the question I asked you earlier. You know, so keep joining the channel. Keep subscribing to the channel. Keep it coming. If you keep it coming, I'll keep it coming. If you don't get it to coming, then I'm going to disappear off of this YouTube, and I'll continue helping and educating the people that I come in contact with. I prefer to do it this way because I feel like this is helping the world. But if not, I'm fine with that too, and I can continue to do what I've been doing for the last 30 years. I'll see y'all later. If you need to email me, king@BLONGshow.com. My show is a little bit different than other people because I'm not going to follow what everybody else done did. I'm going to lay my layout the way I choose to lay my layout. You'll get an intro, but it won't be like everybody else's. And now you just got my outro. So see you later next time.